I'm never buying one of these ass lip liners ever again. Mikayla, I don't give a if you see this. This is trash.
Unlike typical lip treatments because they're not sheer. Look at the pigment, and this is such a gorgeous color. It's super glossy, comfortable, not stringy. Toasted marshmallow, not sticky, extremely hydrating. You can do a sheer, gorgeous wash of color like this. None of that stringy, sticky residue. Or the reason it's called Amp It is because you can amp this up and get even more pigment. This is easily one of the prettiest shades. Now you have even more color. Still none of that stringy, sticky residue.
This is like my third time sharpening it. Did you see that? And you want to know how stupid I look? I was literally using the side of it to prevent it from breaking. And I have to sharpen it again. Bro, like, how does it get worse? Like, literally, how does it get worse?
I don't know what it is about lip product launches in the beauty influencer space, but it seems like it's this particular type of product that there's always controversy surrounding. There's always questions about the product. Oh, is anybody who's telling the truth? Who's lying? Is it good? Is it bad? So when I heard that Mikayla Nogueira was launching lip products, I was wondering what was going to happen. So I bought a set, and I'm really glad that I did. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jen. It's nice to meet you. I normally do makeup industry news. I do deep dives on the beauty community, things like that. I don't do product reviews very much anymore, but I did product reviews extensively and in an extremely detailed way for about 10 years before I switched over to doing more commentary stuff. But my love for reviewing cosmetic products still lives in my heart. And today, that experience and that skill that I honed over a decade is going to come into play today because I want to share with you my initial impressions of the new lip kits that Mikayla Nogueira is selling through her brand Point of View Beauty. But before we get into the actual products and the demo, I just want to give you some background information on the brand itself because I do think that it's important for context. First of all, the most important thing you need to know about Point of View Beauty is that Mikayla doesn't own it. She's never claimed to own it. She's never claimed to be the CEO of the company. She always says she's the founder, which seems to be very accurate. I tried to find interviews with the woman who is the CEO of Point of View Beauty to make sure I was saying her name correctly, but I could not find a single one. So I'm going to do my best. Her name, I believe, is Annie Hajanian, and she is an industry veteran. She has been around forever and she's worked with multiple beauty companies. So here's just a quick rundown of her resume. On her LinkedIn, she has a little caption under her name. It says Beauty Executive Entrepreneur Builder Operator Venture. From 2008 to 2010, she was Director of Corporate Strategy and New Business Development at Estee Lauder. 2010 to 2016, she had various jobs at Bobbi Brown Cosmetics, including ending up as the Vice President and General Manager of their North American branch. From 2016 to 2019, Annie worked as general manager and then the president of the Stella and Dot family of brands. 2021 to 2024, she was the general manager of the North American branch of Augustinus Bader. And that lands us to now. She is both the CEO and the co-founder of Point of View Beauty, as well as the founding partner of a company called Pure Heart Labs. They say that they are a woman-led strategy and brand development firm. They say their passion is connecting their community of experts with clients looking to build and grow impactful consumer brands in the beauty, wellness, and fashion industries. This part really sounds like what they're building Point of View to be. It says, we love to create disruptive products, tell provocative stories, and work with cool people. A strategy and brand. Our clients range from 1, startups looking to launch their business, 2, small companies looking to scale businesses, and 3, mid-sized companies looking to expand globally. Oh, but we are not done. They also have a venture capitalist firm involved called Imaginary Ventures. They have also invested in brands like Skims, Kosas, Glossier, Half Magic, and Necessaire. Outside of the beauty space, Everlane, Good American, Daily Harvest, and Hum Vitamins. So of course this is important because anything that goes wrong with Point of View Beauty isn't necessarily Mikayla's fault. She is the face of the brand, but she is not the one running this company. She also has investors that I'm assuming have invested a ton of money in her brand and are helping to make those decisions. The most important thing to keep in mind with this review of these products is that Mikayla does not have full control over this company. It kind of reminds me of Patrick Starr and One Size. Patrick Starr does not own One Size and never has claimed to. He's always said that he is the founder of the company. He went with an incubator company and they grew the brand with him as the face. But in both situations, with both Patrick and Mikayla, there is no way to know how much they have invested of their personal money, what their payout might be, how much control they have over individual decisions. All of that is private information. What we can probably assume, maybe assume, is that Mikayla does have control over the content she creates regarding the products. Now, as I showed you in the intro, there have been some complaints about the new lip kits. And what I want to do today is I want to apply them and I want to show you my personal experience. But keep in mind that there could be variations in formula throughout the line. There are different batches, there are different shades, and there could be differences. So I'm not saying anybody is lying. I'm just going to show you my personal experience up close and personal so you can kind of decide what you think. It's just another piece of information for you in this entire story. I'll link some other videos down below, including Spill Sesha's video where she went over all of the complaints of the products. Now, with all of that background, let's jump into the application of the products and see what is really going on. The set that I got was charred cider and toasted marshmallow because I thought those were the shades that I would enjoy the most. And when I announced on my Makeup News show, What's Up in Makeup, that these were coming out, I mentioned that this kind of application is exactly the way that I've been enjoying doing my lips recently, where I put on a lip liner and then put on a gloss. But one thing that I thought was really interesting and smart about this is that it does have pigment and it is supposed to be buildable, so you can decide how much coverage you want. So we're going to test that today. All right, I'm going to start with the lip liner and just pull it across. Some lip liners are very dry and they kind of stagger going across. This is not like that at all. It's very creamy. I know Mikayla said you can go across your Cupid's bow to make your lips look bigger. I don't personally like that because I have a prominent Cupid's bow and I like it. So I don't want to cover it. I like it just the way that it is. So I'm just going to apply it this way and define it. At this point, I have the choice of whether I want to color in or not, and I'm not going to do that. I want to show the pigmentation of the ambit, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, one thing also is I do not like to apply with the applicator on these because I don't feel like I have control. So what I do is I make sure my hands are clean, and then I just squeeze it on my fingertip and apply it that way so I know exactly how much is going on. And you can see there really isn't a ton of pigment. It's just a little. I'll rub it together a little. And I'll show you on the back of my hand too what we're dealing with. So you can see without the lip liner. And I'm going to blend it just a little. It's just a little bit of pigment and then we'll blend it even more. There's definitely pigment there, it's just not a lot, but that's what she said. She claimed that. I'm going to take this Details by Tati EX6 brush and just blend in the edges. And there you go. So that is one layer. The biggest complaint about this is that the texture is bad on this. I can tell you it does feel heavy. It is reminiscent of a MAC lip gloss. It is very thick. It is very shiny. It is very heavy. I'm not gonna pop my lips because pop is gonna break those strings. It's not a good, I don't know what the pop thing was, because that is not, it's not how you test something like this, because of course it's going to break. Of course you're not going to feel the stickiness if you do it fast. If we're really testing this, and this is just the way that I prefer to do things, I like to go slow, because then you can really feel it. It simulates talking and eating and going about your day, just moving around. Nobody goes all day. Nobody does that. So let's just go really slow. And I'm looking in my mirror, and I do see a slight stick to it. And again, it does feel very heavy on the lips. Now, Mikayla did say that it was buildable, so let's build it up with a second layer. Just the same amount that I put on before. My lips are significantly shinier, of course. And there's more pigment. Definitely feels very slick, very, very slick. It feels like I'm wearing too much product. I'm still not getting the strings. There's a little bit. I would never put on this much. It feels bad. It feels like I'm wearing too much gloss. And I think that's the problem with the pigmentation on this, the way that they advertise, is that it's genuinely not buildable unless you're willing to deal with the feeling of the thickness and a little bit of stringiness when you're opening and closing your mouth. But you can see as I'm talking, I'm not getting stringiness as I'm having this conversation with you. When people are applying so much and they're just going really slow, personally, I feel like that's exaggerated as far as what this is going to do in real life application. But you can see the same thing is happening to me. Not as bad as some of the gross ones. Should we put on another layer just to make it extra gross to see if we can make it happen? Let's put on one more layer. I would never do this in real life. Layer number 3. I feel like at this point, we're in lipstick territory as far as the pigmentation. It feels awful. It feels like, remember back in the day, they used to do like 1,000 layers of whatever or 100 layers of whatever. That's what it feels like right now. It feels awful. It's still not as bad as what they're getting. How are they doing that? Like, I'm trying to make it happen. I can't make it happen. It's just pushing the color to the outer edges of my lips. Like, how did they make it so goopy? I don't know. Maybe it's their formula is different than mine. Maybe the shade, but I can't make it happen. And I would never put on this much. And I'm not going to put on more, because at that point, it's ridiculous. I'm going to go ahead and blot this off and see what we have left. So that would be kind of a wear down. I have worn this a couple of times, and this does look like the way that it looks when it wears down, when all of that gloss goes away. You can see there is just a little bit of color. So the next thing I want to do is I just want to apply the lip liner on its own. All right, let's go in with the lip liner, and I'm going to cover my whole lips. Honestly, I love this color. It's really pretty. And you notice I'm not having any problems with the lip liner breaking at all. And I'm rubbing pretty good. Like, I'll rub hard. It's not breaking at all. And it doesn't feel like it's gonna break. This is very typical of a lip liner to be a little bit sticky. It does not feel good at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on the lip ampoule over top just to see what that looks like. Oh yeah. So if you're looking for that full pigmentation, definitely apply the lip liner first and then just one layer of the ampoule. And that is that lipstick look that people are going for. Don't try to get it with the ampoule. That's absolutely not. 0 out of 10. Don't do that. Do it like this, which makes sense because this is the pigment. This is the pigment. This is the shine with a little bit of pigment. And I think that looks so pretty. So now I'm going to blot that. So much more pigment on my lips. Very, very nice. The last thing I wanted to do was test to see what happens when I sharpen this. Now, this is where I'm at right now. It does not need to be sharpened, but I want to sharpen it to see if that causes a problem with it. This is a Jouer pencil sharpener that I've had forever, and I'm just gonna quickly run it through to see if there's any issues with it. Okay, so that is the first sharpen of it, and I'm just gonna run it on my hand to see if I can get it to break, and I can't get it to break. I mean, I'm not gonna push like super hard because that would be ridiculous, but I'm drawing and it's not breaking. La 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 la. Do loo 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 loo. Bloop 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 bloop. It's not breaking at all. So this is what I think might be happening. I think that the person who was sharpening their pencil, I think it might be their sharpener is just not compatible with this particular lip pencil. I think that maybe it's just dull or it's just the way that it's sharpening it. I don't know, but I don't think, at least from my experience, if ours are the same, I don't see it being a problem as far as this breaking goes. I can't explain what happened in that video other than maybe it's the sharpener or maybe theirs is just different than mine because it is a different color, I believe. Final thoughts on this. I know a lot of people will not buy this because of their feelings about Mikayla, very rightfully, because of who she's shown herself to be as far as being dishonest, being a shill, just not really caring about the wallets of the people that she's advertising to, of being deceptive. There's a lot of things going on there with Mikayla, which would be a reason why a lot of people would not buy these. Another thing to consider about these is that it was not cheap for me to buy these. This cost me, including shipping, $42.94 for these two products, which is a lot. Thinking about all of the other products that I own, I probably won't be reaching for these very often. I think that maybe it's the shade. If the shade seems perfect for what I need, I don't think I have anything quite this exact shade. I have things similar, but not the exact shade. So I can see that being the reason why, not the formula. I think that the formula is more for, it's kind of like a high heel. Like it looks good on the lips. I really like the way that it looks, but it's not very comfortable. I would say they're not bad, but I don't think that they're must-haves in any way. So if you're a Mikayla fan, or if you don't mind buying something from Mikayla, if that's not a factor, I would say maybe it just depends on how much comfort is important to you, because they're just not comfortable products. Pretty, yes. Comfortable? No. But at this point, I would love to know what you think about all of this, about customers' experiences with the products, about my experience with the products, about what you saw today. If you purchased them, what was your personal experience? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, and you don't want me to get lost in the bigness of the YouTubes, feel free to subscribe so that I always show up in your subscription feed. And if you would like to watch another video right now, YouTube should be recommending a couple videos for you over here. I'm going to put one here and one here for you. And then in the middle will be the link to subscribe. And mad love to you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you in a video very, very soon. Bye.